Part 3, let's get it. Kumusta kapatid? Fam, welcome back. Let's discuss the issue at hand. I don't know what this is. You've listened and you've clarified what you've heard, and now it's time to propose solutions to our problem. Again, this is part 3 of my series, How I Win Arguments with My Fiancé. Link in the description if you need to go back. Otherwise, let's begin, shall we? This is the moment we've been waiting for. Time to attack. Okay, maybe not that kind of attack, but it's time to actively take part in the solution. We've started with our significant other, quarreling with one another face to face. But now what was face to face is now side by side, and instead of facing the problem with one another like this way, and letting the problem get in between us, now it's time for the problem to be in front of us, and for the both of us to attack it at once. This will be our attack strategy. Let's say the problem is that I don't communicate well enough to my fiance. We just want to keep this simple, so it's a 3-step process of overcoming an argument, or overcoming the problem. Using step 1 of actively listening, we've heard the bulk of it all, and summarized the main points. She doesn't feel like I'm present in the conversation. She doesn't feel like I genuinely want to speak with her, and she believes that we don't spend enough time speaking with one another. Using step 2, I've clarified the following to make sure that I can identify what causes her to feel the way she feels. She doesn't feel like I'm present in the conversation when I'm playing video games, video editing, or multitasking in general. She doesn't feel like I genuinely want to speak with her because our conversations seem so last minute, as if I don't prioritize our time together. It's only when everything else is done. And in the end, she doesn't believe that we spend enough time together, in addition to the fact that she doesn't feel prioritized. And since we're long distance, this limited time is especially narrow because of our 12-hour time difference. And of course, adulting and busy schedules. So with step 3, it begs the questions, what are we gonna do about it? And what can we do about it? Let's do this one at a time. Let's propose, in order for her to feel like I am more present in the conversation, I will give her my undivided attention with none of my other gaming devices nearby. While I talk to her, I can maintain eye contact and give her the sense that I am really there for her. Sounds good so far, right? I know, I googled it. To make her feel like I genuinely want to speak with her, I can schedule ahead of time for our video calls, whether it's for 30 minutes, an hour, whatever time that I have available, or that we have available, since, it's a two-way street. We don't have to guess if I'll have time for her or not, since now I've answered the question of when I will have time for her. And although we can't bridge the long distance and be in each other's physical space, we can try to have our quality conversations with more quantity by trying to go from, let's say, 3 days of talking to 7 days of talking. Like, not every conversation has to be a novel. By the way, the one who talks most in the conversation. So maybe I could do the listening part a little better. The purpose of step 3 is to propose ideas of what works for you and what works for her. And of course, it also has to satisfy the criteria of your moral compass. You give ideas, she gives ideas, and then both of you, based on your values, meet in the middle. If she says they're good ideas, we can try them out and see how they work. And in the end, if they don't meet our expectations, we can always circle back. Circle back? In the end, I don't have the final say. For me, the action plan only moves forward if I say yes, she says yes, and most importantly, since we're both Christians, if it's a yes under godly values. It's also unrealistic for me to believe that all our proposed solutions or ideas of fixing the problem will have a 50-50 turnout, where she walks away with something and I walk away with something. In reality, if one of us wins, then we both win. Marriage brings two people together, so let's win together. Since relationships are not about who is right, but doing what's right, in this case, the best thing that we can do for each other is respect, trust, and collaborate with one another. Ultimately, I don't believe that arguments are made to break down our relationship. In fact, if they break down anything, arguments can break down what doesn't belong, whether it's my selfishness, pride, or whatever. I'm not in the relationship for a trophy wife, but for a higher quality of life that I cannot achieve on my own. Now, since I'm a nerd, and my fiance is not an anime fan, to me she's like that wicked cool female character who I could face the world with. If you know what I'm talking about, drop me a like. Anyway, what do you think? How do you process fights, arguments, or heavy discussions? What did you think of this little series? I'm still testing stuff here on YouTube, so feedback is much appreciated. In the meantime, here's some of the other work that I enjoyed making. I'm Mike, reminding you to add life to what matters. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Win together.